Today I want to talk about the type of watercolor paper that I like to use the most. What's up, Liron here. Thank you for joining me in another video. This one's going to be a little different. I've been asked a lot lately what kind of papers I like to use the most, so I am planning on making a more in-depth comparison and just showing a few types of papers and how they interact with paint. With this one, I'm not going to do that. I want this to be a really quick video just to address the type of paper that I like. Let me know in a comment below what you think of these quick videos, okay? Some of these papers I already reviewed, I already showed extensively in painting processes and in different kinds of videos. So this one I just want to let you know, like, face to face, my opinion and what I like the most, okay? So far there have been only two brands I really liked of watercolor paper, so that's Arches and Saunders-Waterford. These are the two that I like the most. They're very similar, and I did hear that Buckingford is the same quality, so it may work as well. Haven't tried it personally. What I like the most is Arches and Saunders-Waterford. I played around with the 300 grams, the 600 grams. The one I like the most is the 600 grams. I like when it's massive and it doesn't buckle as easily. It was a fun story. They were on a special offer, and they still are in a local art store, so the 600 GSM is cheaper, so I just ended up buying that all the time, and I really loved it, and I got used to it and doing plein airs and on location paintings. So anyway, Saunders-Waterford is probably the brand I use the most right now. Now, if we want to set these aside and look at brands for maybe sketchbook papers, I didn't really find ones that I like, aside from Moleskine, which isn't all that good. The one I like is actually one I used recently. Let me show you, and I will make a more organized review of this one. It's the Canson Montval. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. So this one I like it even better than the Moleskine. I did a few paintings here that I want to show you. This is a cool one. I think I shared this somewhere on Instagram or Snapchat. I just like the way it reacts to the paint, and I think it's even much better than Moleskine. Moleskine has a better shape, a better binder, everything. It's more comfortable to travel with and to close it up. But this one, in terms of the quality of the paper, I liked it much more. But anyway, let's set this aside. So in terms of brands, I like the Arches and Saunders-Waterford. One last thing. Cold pressed versus hot pressed. I am a big fan of cold pressed. This is my opinion. It's what I like. I feel that cold pressed, first off, allows me to use the paper's texture, and I like to use it even in portraits. It doesn't bother me. You know, a lot of people prefer hot pressed, smooth surface paper for portraits or maybe for more accurate details. I find that with time, if you paint large enough, okay, so if you're trying to paint a tiny little piece on a little piece of paper, of course you may have some trouble with the accuracy, but with time you get used to the texture. I much prefer cold pressed. I don't like rough, because the rough paper is too much, it's too textured for me, especially the Arches one. I prefer the cold pressed, or the Saunders-Waterford cold press is really good. I really like it. One more thing that I find, and again, no demos, this is just face to face. I will make a more organized review, but this is just to address all of the questions I've been receiving lately. I feel like hot pressed, which is the smooth surface paper, the paint isn't soaked as well. It kind of just lays there on top. Some people prefer it, but for me, I prefer that it will soak into the paper, and because of that, it dries much slower. Now, for me, for doing on location paintings, I prefer the paint to dry faster, just because, you know, I like to finish it up fast and everything changes around you. Now, some people may prefer to stay wet for a while because you can rework it, but I find that I don't like it, and even worse than that. So let's say you're trying to get an even wash. I find that on hot pressed paper, the wash doesn't turn out as even sometimes. You may get weird, awkward blossoms because some areas dry really fast, but others just stay wet for a long time. I think that's a more accurate representation of what's going on. I don't know why that is exactly. If you have any insights on that, leave a comment below. I did So anyway, this is it. This is just my quick answer. So these two brands, 600 GSM cold press, that's my personal favorite. I'm actually really curious to hear yours. So if you have a different one, especially leave a comment below saying which one is your favorite and also why. Okay, I'm curious about the why. One last thing, I did do several reviews of papers. I will put links to anything that I already did. I am planning on making a bigger video, especially of the cold pressed, hot pressed kind of issue, just to address that, because I think it's important to better explain why I prefer what I prefer. So anyway, this is it. I hope you enjoyed this quick format. Again, let me know in the comment below what you think, and if you like these quick kinds of videos. I know a lot of people, when you see a really long video, you kind of save it or add it to your watch later and then come back to it. So I'm really curious to hear if you watch the videos immediately or you save them for later. And this is it. Don't forget to subscribe if this is the first video and you enjoyed it. I have tons of others, painting processes, paint reviews, all sorts of things. Also check out my podcast, link in the description box, Patreon, Instagram especially is where I'm most active. And I think this is it. Again, I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in another vid real soon.